Hello everybody, welcome back to a brand new video. Before we get started, please leave a like below and subscribe to the channel. We just hit 24.4K. Can we get to 25K by the end of the month? Please subscribe so we can get there. But in today's video, we're going to be focusing on the 13 keys to the White House. These are an idea created by a professor who predicted Trump's win last time around. And these keys are statements that basically say that if you get 6 of these correctly, 6 of the 13, does seem like you will be either elected or reelected. And Donald Trump is really doing very well in terms of these, in my opinion, as many people have noted. But I wanted to go through them and see how many of these keys that Trump actually has so he can be reelected. So first of all, the first key, this idea that there's a party mandate. After the midterm elections, the incumbent party holds more seats in the U.S. House of Representatives than after the previous midterm elections. That did not happen. I believe that the professor's model showed that the reason why Trump did not gain seats was because actually he did not have enough foreign policy wins. Yes, he did have the summit with Kim Jong-un, but it does seem like he really didn't have a whole lot of foreign policy victories overseas and things like that. So really what we've seen here is that the party mandate would not apply. 2 is contest. There is no serious contest for the incumbent party nomination. This is very true. It does seem like Trump has got a few primary challengers that are all polling at 1 to 3%. So obviously Trump has the contest key. There's no serious content. This was a key that Obama had, Bush had, Clinton had. Actually, I believe the last one that did not have it was George Bush in '92, first Bush, when he went up against Pat Buchanan and actually did not do so well. He won the primary, but he limped his way to a couple of the states, and it really did damage him. You had that Pat Buchanan paleo-conservative type of crowd go against the neoconservative type of Bush crowd and actually make an impact. Trump's not going to have that this time around. He's basically united the party among all of its factions behind him. It does seem like a lot of the rhinos are really non-existent or have left the party, and that's relatively a good thing. So it does seem like Trump has the contest key to the presidency. The third key is incumbency. The incumbent party is the sitting president. This is very true and very accurate. Trump is the incumbent president. Altogether, he would have the third key no matter what. So it does seem like so far he's 2 for 3. Third party. There is no significant third party or independent campaign. Well, I think that this key is a little controversial in my opinion because it does seem like if there is a third party, it could potentially favor Trump if they're a left-wing third party, or like if Michael Bloomberg doesn't get the nomination but still runs as a third party, which I don't think is the most likely course of action. But it does seem like I don't think there will be a significant third party. Maybe like last time, maybe a little bit less. And I think when it's all said and done, it's going to help Trump at the end of the day. So I think so far, he's 3 out of 4. That is subject to change. I just don't see it changing right now. The fifth key is the short-term economy. The economy is not in recession during the election campaign. For a while there, people did see the fact that the economy was going down or stagnating, but I think a lot of those qualms have been really sufficed to really nothing. And you look at predicted, the odds for a recession 2 years ago in Trump's term were above 50%. Now they're down below 20, and the economy's doing well. We got a trade deal done, phase 1, so we might see another uptick in the stock market. That could be very beneficial to Donald Trump when it's all said and done. So short-term economy, he's got that key. He's 4 for 5. The sixth key is long-term economy. Real per capita economic growth during the term equals or exceeds mean growth during the previous 2 terms. This is very true and accurate. A lot of the GDP growth happened in Obama's second term compared to his first term. It still wasn't necessarily very good compared to what Trump is, and Trump hasn't really done a whole lot better in terms of growth, but I mean, job growth is up, and in terms of other types of things besides GDP are also up, and they have exceeded or equaled the growth before, and really they have accelerated, especially in terms of the stock market long term. So what I would say is that the long-term economy key, he's got that so far. He is 5 for 6. Key number 7 is policy change. The incumbent administration affects major changes in national policy. This is very true. Trump basically went out there, he deregulated, he said he was going to cut 2 regulations for every new one added. Actually, in reality, so far, I think he's cut like 26 or 27 regulations, a lot of unnecessary regulations that have been put on by the past few administrations that Trump basically gutted. So when it comes down to the policy change, I believe that Trump has that key relatively down. I definitely think that he has affected major changes in America First foreign policy. Whether people agree with him or not, I think it's very, very, very accurate that he has caused significant change and brought significant change. If you want to call it chaos, you can call it chaos, but I do definitely think Trump has the policy change key to the presidency. So far, he is 6-4-7. The 8th key is social unrest, saying that there is no sustained social unrest during the term. Now, when I look at this, I definitely think that in terms of social unrest, during the Obama administration, you had a lot of social unrest. You had a lot of riots about, police violence and things like that. Under Trump, we haven't really seen any of that. Yes, we've seen Antifa beat up some people they disagree with. Obviously, Charlottesville was a big scandal back in 2017, but I don't think it's on the forefront of a whole lot of people's minds. So that key is definitely up in the air. I think the key word is sustained because you did have social unrest during Charlottesville, but that kind of eventually faded away. So for the social unrest key to the presidency, since there's no sustained social unrest, you have protests, you have the Women's March. I think that's a bunch of BS, in my opinion. But obviously, I don't think that Trump has lost that key because there hasn't been a sustained social unrest. This isn't 2017. I think a lot more people are just going along with how their day goes and stuff like that more than they thought about politics back then. So the social unrest key, I'm going to give that to Trump. So far, he is 7 out of 8. Number 9 is scandal. The incumbent administration is untainted by major scandal. I personally don't think he has that key. Do I really care about the scandals? Well, I think a lot of them could potentially be nonsense. I think a lot of his voters agree with me and agree that the scandals really aren't that big of a deal. But basically, Lichtman, who created this, said impeachment would down Trump. I disagree, but he says that will get rid of his scandal key. So from going on it and basically how the media has portrayed Trump from the very beginning, focusing on all bunch of nonsense, bunch of scandals. Some of them are very inaccurate. Other are just very unimportant. So as for the scandals, I don't think he has that key, but still, he's 7 out of 9. He's basically only 2 are false so far. So now let's go to number 10. Foreign or military failure. The incumbent administration suffered no major failure in foreign or military affairs. I completely agree that Trump has done a good job overseas. I do not believe he has led any failure so far, unlike Benghazi. I know you had a bunch of people when they heard he went into Iran and killed somebody, they were like, oh my God, it's a new Benghazi. And then when the actual information gets out, apparently it wasn't like Benghazi at all. Trump did everything right. Everything was perfectly fine. So when it comes down to the incumbent administration suffering no major failure in foreign or military affairs, I definitely think that he's gotten that completely down. So I definitely think he's 8 for 10 so far. Number 11, foreign or military success. The incumbent administration achieves a major success in foreign or military affairs. He's done this. If you don't want to call Kim Jong-un's summit a good thing, you could very well look to what happened. He went out there, he took out Soleimani. He's done everything in his power. He's done a lot to take ISIS out. He's been a boss overseas. He's done his job, whether you like the guy or not. So when it's all said and done in terms of foreign or military success, I definitely think that the incumbent administration has achieved major successes overseas, taken out Baghdadi, taken out Soleimani, and you have a lot of people on the left that really hate it, but if you look at the polls, they're relatively even split. Yes, you have some people on the right that don't like it as well, but they're going to vote for him as well. So I think that a lot of this comes down to just media bias, selective media coverage, selective media outrage. But in terms of foreign or military successes, he's definitely got a lot. So he's 9 out of 11 so far. Number 12 is incumbent charisma. The incumbent party candidate is charismatic or a national hero. Now, personally, I think Trump is very charismatic. I think a lot of people on the left can watch him. If they watch his speeches, they might not like the guy, but I mean, they think he's funny. They think he's an OG. He just goes in there. He does what he wants to do. He's a boss about it. He just goes up there. He'll tell the Democrats to F off to their face. He's got a lot of charisma. And as for national hero, a lot of people do see him as a national pariah, but he has a lot of adoring fans that do look up to him as a national hero. So for number 12, I definitely think Trump has a lot of charisma. And obviously, we've had presidents in the past. I mean, Obama had a lot of charisma. Bill Clinton had a lot of charisma, like him or not. I mean, the facts are the facts. So when it's all said and done, I think Trump has the 12th key to the presidency. So far, I will say that Trump is 10 for 12. As for number 13, challenger charisma, this one is the best. This one is the funniest thing that I could actually think of. The challenging party candidate is not charismatic or a national hero. Oh my God, you're looking at the Democrat debate side. You're watching them. There is not one person on that stage that is charismatic. There is not one person on that stage that's a national hero. Yes, Bernie's got a lot of wild, vapid fans out there, especially on the younger side. Many of them can't even vote, by the way. But as for that, I definitely think that the challenging party candidate, it's probably going to be Biden. And oh my God, he is the furthest thing. He is sleeping. He's not charismatic at all. He is definitely not a national hero as well. I mean, there's not really a candidate that is. Obviously, I think if you had that one general that took out, I think was involved in the Osama raid. I think it was McRaven or whatever. Maybe some people could look up to him as like some sort of national hero. But even like Pete Buttigieg served in some, in the reserves in the army. I still obviously don't think he qualifies, and especially he's not very charismatic at all. So as for 13, he's got that as well. So bottom line, I know some Democrats are even saying, oh, he's got 8 or 9 keys. The way I see it and the way a lot of his supporters see it, he has 11 of 13. And when it comes down to things, well, obviously besides the first one, but that one didn't even apply to Obama. That only applied to Bush because of 9/11 and stuff like that. So the party mandate one is a little weird because since like back in the day, it doesn't really seem like since like the 20s or whatever, you've had parties gain House seats since except twice. So when it's all said and done, Trump is doing very well. He's probably going to be reelected, but you got to get out and vote, get registered to vote, take 5 people with you, because again, it doesn't matter if you get complacent. So thanks for everybody for watching. Please like this video, comment down below, subscribe. How many keys do you think he has? I'd like to honestly see a different perspective. Follow me on social media, join the Discord, donate to the Patreon. Links in description below. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Red Eagle, out.